What if I told you that building financial freedom is like planting a tree? At first, nothing seems to happen. You water it daily, protect it from storms, and still no fruit. But once those roots take hold, it grows faster each year until one day it's providing shade, fruit, and seeds for the entire forest without your constant effort. 9 years ago, I moved to the UK from India with my medical degree and approximately £2,000 in savings. I landed my first NHS job as a doctor and thought I had made it. Good salary, respected profession, stability. But 3 years in, I had the realization that changed everything. Despite earning a salary that many would consider a good salary, I was actually trading my time for money. Working long hours meant more pay but also less life. Here is the surprising part. As a respiratory specialist treating asthma, COPD, and lung cancer patients, I love my work. But I discovered that these life saving skills have a financial ceiling that no amount of extra shifts or experience can break through. Today, I have built some steady cash flow and additional income sources through my side hustles, all while continuing my NHS career. And in this video, I will show you the exact 4-phase system that's making it possible. This isn't just another quit your job and follow your passion video. I still work full time as an NHS consultant and I genuinely enjoy helping patients breathe easier. But I am building systems that will eventually give me complete financial freedom, the choice to practice medicine because I want to, not because I have to. If you are between 25 to 45 years old, especially you are in the healthcare sector or in another public service job or a job with a clear income ceiling, you are in the perfect position to implement what I'm about to share in this video. The traditional path tells us to work hard, climb the career ladder, and eventually retire at 67 or 68. But that path keeps you dependent on your job for more than 40 years. Even with my NHS pension, I calculated that I would need to work until at least I'm 65 years old to maintain my current lifestyle. So here is what I discovered after 10 years of working in the NHS as a doctor. There are basically two completely different approaches to building wealth as a doctor in the UK. Path 1 is the traditional medical path, which means work more clinical hours and extra shifts, slowly climb the NHS pay band over decades, save whatever is left after your expenses, and the result is your wealth is capped by NHS pay structure, which is again not great. Path 2 is the asset building path. Keep your clinical job for stability and fulfillment, live below your means, build digital assets and income streams outside medicine, and the result is your wealth can grow beyond NHS limitations. Almost all my colleagues are stuck on the first path. They are exhausted from the extra shifts and locum weekend, and most of that extra money disappears to taxes and lifestyle upgrades. As a respiratory specialist, I am basically limited to one main employer in the UK, the NHS. It's not like I am an orthopedic surgeon who can easily do private hip replacements or a dermatologist who can open a Botox clinic. But here is what changed everything for me. I realized that while my medical skills have this financial ceiling in the traditional healthcare economy, my ability to build digital assets in the new online economy is virtually unlimited. Before I share my system, let's talk about why so many incredibly smart, highly educated doctors remain financially dependent on their jobs. From what I have seen, it's down to three main things. The first one is the deferred life plan. We spend our 20s and early 30s in non-stop clinical training. By the time we finally become consultants, we feel entitled to live a little, upgrading lifestyles instead of building assets. Number 2 is the time trap. After 12-hour shift dealing with complex cases, the last thing that most of us want to do is to learn about new digital skills and build assets. The solution isn't working harder. It's being strategic about your time, dedicating just 2 to 3 protected hours weekly to start with. And number three is the identity crisis. Many of us define ourselves completely by being a doctor. The idea of building income streams outside medicine almost feels like betraying our calling. The most powerful realization I had was this: the exact skills that make you a good doctor, for example, attention to detail, commitment to learning, ability to explain complex concepts, and the ability to interpret data and act on it, the same skills can help you build wealth outside the clinical medicine. Through my own journey, I have mapped out 4 distinct phases of escaping the rat race while still keeping your medical career. These phases aren't strictly sequential. You will likely overlap them as you progress. But understanding where you are in this journey helps you focus on the right strategies at the right time. Phase 1 is building your foundation. This first phase is all about getting your financial house in order. I remember my first few years as a junior doctor in the UK. I was so focused on clinical work that I completely neglected my finances. I kept my savings in a regular bank account, earning practically nothing while inflation was silently eating away at it. Here is exactly what I did to build my foundation. The first step was creating a proper emergency fund. You need 6 months of expenses in an easy access savings account. Number 2 is tackled high interest debt. I had a credit card charging nearly 20% of interest. I paid this off before making any investments. And number 3 is I maximized my NHS pension. This is essentially free money through employer matching as well as tax savings. And number 4 is automated my finances. I set up a direct debit to save and invest regularly. When I started, I could only save £100 monthly. It felt almost embarrassingly small, but I never missed a month. And that consistency built the habit that now has me saving a significant portion of my take-home pay. The key principle in this phase is consistency trumps the amount. It's like medicine. A small dose taken regularly is often more effective and safe than a massive dose taken at one go. The next phase of this journey, skill stacking. Once my financial foundation was solid, I moved to the second phase, what I call skill stacking. As doctors, we are trained to super specialized. I spent years becoming an expert in respiratory medicine and then subspecialize in interventional pulmonology. But I realized that while specialization is great for your medical career, diversification is better for your financial future. So I started deliberately learning skills outside medicine, which are financial literacy, which means understanding how money actually works and the economy. Number 2 is content creation, how to communicate clearly through writing and video. None of these skills individually made me an expert outside medicine. But when I stacked them together with my medical knowledge, I created a unique combination that very few people have. Here is what most doctors miss. Your medical training gives you incredible credibility and trust in almost any field that you enter. When I started creating content about personal finance, people trusted me not because I was a financial expert, which I am not, but because as a doctor, I was perceived as analytical, ethical, and trustworthy. Please hit the like button if you agree with this. The most important principle in this phase is don't try to completely reinvent yourself. Instead, leverage the skills and the credibility you already have as a doctor and stack new skills on top of them. Phase 3 is building digital assets. This is the phase I am currently in and it's been absolutely transformative. After building my foundation and stacking skills, I started creating digital assets, specifically content creation about personal finance and investing from a doctor's perspective. What started as a small YouTube channel has grown into something that now generates enough income to fully support my family if I decide to relocate back to India even next month. It's not yet enough to cover my UK living expenses at this stage, but it's growing steadily. Digital assets have completely different economics than clinical work in a hospital. They grow exponentially rather than linearly. They generate income even when I'm not actively working. They have no geographical limitation. The contrast between my two income sources is striking. In the hospital, I might spend an hour with one patient, valuable work but limited to helping one person at a time. Online, I might spend an hour creating a content that helps thousands of people and continues to help them for years to come. Here is a specific example. Last year, I spent about 10 hours creating a video explaining how to start investing as a beginner in the UK. That single video has now been viewed more than 50,000 times and continues to generate income every month. Meanwhile, a 10-hour clinical shift in hospital is only paid once and generates no further value. This doesn't diminish the importance of my clinical work. My patients needed that care, but it highlighted the fundamental difference between trading time for money versus building assets that generate ongoing returns. Next is phase 4, scaling and freedom. This is a phase I am working towards, where my digital assets generate enough income to cover all my UK expenses and giving me complete financial freedom. I am not there yet, but I have a clear roadmap. Based on my current growth trajectory, I expect to reach this phase within the next 5 to 7 years. What excites me most about this phase isn't the prospect of living medicine. It's actually the opposite. When financial pressure is removed, I believe I will become an even better doctor. I will be able to focus entirely on patient care without the underlying stress of financial dependence. Now, let me share the 3 critical mindset shifts that made all of this possible. These were far more important than any specific financial strategy. Number 1 is mindset shift from consumer to a creator. Most of us are trained to become consumers of education, product, and of content. The breakthrough came when I shifted from being just a consumer to becoming a creator. This shift from consumption to creation is what separates those who build wealth from those who don't. Consumers trade money for product and in turn makes others rich. Creators build assets and generates money and then become rich themselves. The second mindset shift is linear to exponential thinking. In medicine, we are taught to think linearly. Study, get good grades, progress through training, become a consultant, and work until retirement. But wealth doesn't work linearly. It works exponentially through compounding. When I started my YouTube channel, I had 0 subscribers. Getting to 1,000 subscribers took months of consistent effort. But going from 10,000 to 20,000 happened much faster. Understanding this changed how I viewed my efforts. I stopped expecting immediate results and started focusing on building systems that could compound over time. The third mindset shift is from scarcity to abundance mentality. In the hospital, we often operate from scarcity. Limited beds, limited time, limited resources. This mindset can unconsciously spill over into how we think about our careers and our finances. I used to think that focusing on building wealth somehow meant I cared less about medicine. The reality is exactly the opposite. Financial freedom doesn't reduce your impact as a clinician. It amplifies it. It gives you the resources and flexibility to make an even bigger difference. Let me share 3 practical steps you can take this week to begin your journey towards your financial freedom regardless of the career that you are in. Step 1 is start building your digital assets, even if it's imperfect. The single most important step is to start creating something, anything that could potentially generate income without your active time. This could be a YouTube channel like I did, a blog or a newsletter, a simple digital product like a PDF guide. Don't worry about making it perfect. My first videos were terrible. Poor lighting, awkward delivery, basic editing, but I published them anyway. And each one got slightly better with time. The key is to start building in public. You will learn more from creating one imperfect video than from watching 100 tutorials on how to make the perfect video. Step 2 is protect your asset building time. Block out 2 to 3 hours each week specifically for creating a content or building some digital business. Treat this time as non-negotiable, just like you would do with your job. I schedule content creation time on Tuesday evening and Sunday mornings. These blocks are in my calendar and I protect them fiercely. This doesn't require massive lifestyle changes, just consistent protected time. And step 3 is find your unique angle. As doctors, we all have unique perspective and experiences that others would find valuable. Ask yourself, what questions do friends and colleagues always ask me about? What have I figured out that others struggle with? What unique combination of interest and experiences do I have? For me, it was the intersection of medicine, personal finance, and navigating the life between two countries, India and the UK. Your combination will be different but equally valuable. Let me wrap this up by addressing something important. Some of you might be thinking, but I become a doctor to help people, not to build wealth. I understand that completely. I became a respiratory specialist because I genuinely wanted to help people, but here is what I have learned. Financial freedom doesn't diminish your impact as a doctor. It actually amplifies it. It gives you the option to practice medicine on your terms in whichever country that you want, focusing on the aspect that makes the biggest differences. 9 years ago, I was a new immigrant in this country with limited knowledge of the UK financial system and no digital skills whatsoever. Today, I am generating new income streams through content creation and I am on a clear path towards financial independence. If I can make this progress while working full-time as an NHS doctor, then you can do this too, regardless of your profession and your job. Remember, the best decision you will ever make is to get started. Your future self will thank you for that. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more practical financial content. I share my journey and strategies every week. This is Dr. Suman helping you build your wealth one step at a time. See you in the next video.